Thank you, Mayor Bruce Harrell and partners at the Port of Seattle, Cascade Bike Club, and all of you for being here today. This day wouldn't have been possible without our partnership with community advocates and local leadership. Just last week, the City of Seattle unveiled a brand new park and playground on Pier 58. It looks amazing. And today, we celebrate another significant occasion on the waterfront. With the Alaskan Way Safety Project now complete, we can officially cut the ribbon on the new protected bike lane right behind me that closes a very critical gap on our bike network. So just a little bit of housekeeping here. Our partners, Mayor Bruce Harrell and our partners, if you could join me cutting the ribbon. We're gonna be asking all our cyclists to be in the bike lane. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. To do the ceremonial quick turnaround ride and just enjoying the new facility.
You ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Okay, good morning. I'm really excited to share a few thoughts with you and listen to our speakers. I want to ground us in a quote, and it's an interesting quote. It's by a transportation advocate, but I have to explain it because it sounds a little weird. Bike lanes are not for cyclists. They're for people who ride bikes. They're for human beings. And I put the human beings part on myself. This is from Matt Pinder, a transportation advocate. But what I want to explain is when in Seattle, when we think about those who are riding bikes or other modes of transportation, we shouldn't see them as those people. They are human beings that deserve to be safe. Part of our ecosystem, getting cars off the streets, helping us fight against climate change, and our obligation as a chartered city is to make sure everyone is protected. And so it's an honor to celebrate the completion of the Alaskan Way Safety Project, a milestone that reflects our commitment to creating a safer, affordable, and more welcoming travel options for everyone. So this is a good day. I just did a radio interview this morning talking about a lot of the issues we're grappling with in the city, whether it's affordability, the homelessness crisis, the opioid crisis, some of the toughest challenges that major cities like Seattle face. And I said, as you've heard me say before, we don't take victory laps. The interviewer said, but you need to take victory laps sometimes. So I'm going to take a victory lap this morning, a bicycle victory lap, because the protected bike lane fills one of the remaining gaps in the Center City Bike Network. And that network began, as many of you recall, a demonstration project along 2nd Avenue from Pioneer Square to Pike Place Market. But that began almost over 10 years ago in 2014. What we've tried to do is create along this waterfront a beautiful, safe bike path to make it easier to travel to destinations like Centennial Park, Olympic Sculpture Park, downtown, and beyond. Before this revitalization project, the waterfront would have close to 6,000 pedestrians and 2,000 bicyclists traveling along Alaska Way on an average summer day. And I will tell you, we are now positioned. The data looks very promising. We will blow past that. But as we blow past it, yes, let's clap on that. As we blow past it, we are doing it in a safe way, and our city remains committed to your safety. Bike and scooter shared trips are up 90% in 2025 when compared to 2024. You build it and you make it safe, people will use it. It's as simple as that. This is what One Seattle looks like when we say we will lead with safety, we will lead with climate change, we will lead with unity. We want residents and workers and everyone that comes down here, and I told you my favorite kind of money is tourist money. They come here and they see what Seattle is like. So let's talk about our residents and our visitors. It's now easier for them to explore our parks and our trails and celebrate our culture and our art and our restaurants and our shops. For businesses, a safer, more walkable waterfront. It draws more foot traffic and customers, and a bike network provides options for deliveries. I've always said we wanted to be one of the safest and greatest pedestrian experiences you could have when you come down here. For our community, a connected center city bike network draws people into the waterfront and downtown without the cost of parking or time limits, and certainly not with the stench of fossil fuels. This is a good thing. Yes. I had the pleasure of meeting Toka Valu, who honors the richness of Tongan culture. His artwork is inspired by the architecture of homes there, and you will be able to walk and ride past that. And I believe, is Toka, are you saying any words, Toka, or we just get to admire your art? Where did Toka go? Toka, okay, we're just gonna admire your art. And I want everyone to go on Wikipedia and find out something about Tonga. It's a beautiful country. It's actually, as memory serves, about 170 islands. It's not just one island. I think only like 40 or 45 are actually inhabited. So it's not just one island, but it's a beautiful culture and beautiful expression. Now you get to share that with us, and more importantly, we get to learn about the beautiful Tongan culture. Thank you very much. Okay, I looked it up on Wikipedia before I came here. I have to, full disclosure here. Motifs of rafters and living spaces are woven into these bike lanes, telling a story of family and tradition and community and identity, a beautiful reminder that infrastructure can reflect the diversity and creativity that defines Seattle. I think many of you heard we launched a lawsuit against the Trump administration because we believe in diversity. We're proud of equity. We stand for that, and so we continue to redefine ourselves in projects like this, artwork like this, and certainly in the judicial process. So our public spaces are stronger when they reflect our communities and our history. And it's worth it. It's worth it on days like this. So everyone that's not here that could hear my voice right now, hop on a bus or take a bike down here, come and walk, ride, or scooter down here. Just get down here safely and enjoy this new Alaskan Way Viaduct. Whoa, did I say viaduct? Did I just say that? Did that word just come out in my mouth? Experience the new Alaskan Way for yourself to see how it connects us and showcase the best of Seattle. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Harrell. I cannot be so excited to see this important piece of puzzle in place that allows people to move comfortably around Elliott Bay. This extension of the Elliott Bay Trail connection coming from the Olympic Sculpture Park, Uptown, Belltown, and Magnolia. You can now ride a bike without leaving a bike lane or shared path. That deserves a clap. Yeah. In the next few months, the East Marginal Way project on the south end of it will extend that, creating a seamless route from Magnolia to West Seattle. Yeah. This project is more than a construction achievement. It's a promise fulfilled to enhance safety, connect communities, and support all modes of travel along Seattle's iconic waterfront. It wasn't easy, but with the help of our partners, we were able to build a safe project that caters to the needs of all travelers and helps support the economy by maintaining access for visitors arriving and departing on cruise lines. Just a few highlights of the project. We have introduced a continuous half-mile two-way protected bike lane on the west side of Alaskan Way, where we are. And the shared path on the east side is available on cruise sailing days. People biking can cross the street seamlessly, detour while operations are underway. We're also upgrading intersections, new traffic signals, no turn on red restrictions, and design changes help remove that traveler conflicts and keep people driving at this posted speed limit of 25 miles per hour. To ensure everyone, regardless of ability, can comfortably navigate the waterfront, sidewalks were repaired, curb ramps upgraded to be fully ADA accessible. Now everyone have their own dedicated space, providing more predictability. People walking can enjoy wide, accessible sidewalks. People biking and scootering have a separated route. And people driving and delivering goods continue to have access to loading zones. This embodies our Vision Zero goal by prioritizing smart, safe first transportation improvement. We didn't do this by ourselves. It took a lot of collaboration and partnership. So without our partners, this wouldn't have happened. SDOT worked very closely with the Port of Seattle, cruise operators, bike community, local businesses and residents. Their feedback and insight were invaluable. Together, we ensure the integration of key features and balanced functionality, safety, and the unique needs of business area like Pier 66. I must also thank the voters of Seattle. This project is one of the handful of projects completed construction in 2026 that were funded by the 2015 Levy to Move Seattle. And thanks to their trust, we look forward to delivering many more successes with the new transportation levy that passed last November. So just looking ahead, what's coming down the pipeline? Here's what's coming. Soon, the Bell Street improvement projects will be complete, linking Bell Street Park, Healthy Streets to the bike connection on the new Elliott Bay. At First and Yesler, a new bike path will connect Waterfront and Pioneer Square. We're exploring possibly upgrading the intersections, and our designers, our engineers are navigating a very difficult challenges of the areaway, and we're going to continue to navigate that space to create that connectivity. What I know, it's certain that Pioneer Square will soon be connected seamlessly to Waterfront as well. The Alaskan Way Safety Project also marks the first of several exciting new bike project collaboration planned in Southeast Seattle this summer. Family-friendly bike routes are about to emerge, connecting Beacon Hill, Georgetown, and West Seattle to downtown. So, SDOT is kicking off what we call Hot Bike Summer Series. Yay! We're inviting everyone to explore Seattle by bike as we roll out new routes and the Hot Bike Summer Passport. Stop by that table, get your passport, get your stamp. There will be prizes and drawing, and I just can't wait to see you guys navigate this space and take the opportunity of all the built-out facility. I always say, don't leave home without your Orca card and a helmet as you explore all those investments that SDOT is rolling out. So now, please help me welcome Port Commissioner Fred Feldman to share his remarks. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's give it up for Adiam and the mayor for helping us be here today. All right, thank you for the introduction. I will try to be short. On behalf of the Port of Seattle and our esteemed guests, welcome to Pier 66. This is one of the Port of Seattle's premier assets. And I also want to recognize that we're here on traditional Salish lands. So I looked up, where does Bell come from? Well, Bell was with Arthur Denny and Company, and back in, It was 1852. He was able to acquire 320 acres from that great Donation Lands Claims Act, and needless to say, he wasn't fully welcomed by our indigenous friends, and his house got burned down in 1856. But good thing we have better relationships now, and I appreciate Toka's reminding us of our greater Pacific Rim connections, and our path forward is going to be far more collaborative. So, thanks for that. However, since our founding in 1911, the port has been integral to the waterfront story, and it's wonderful to celebrate yet another link in the connections that we bring to the community so that we can have both this generational transformation that preserves both the working waterfront as well as community access to that waterfront. And that was the original reason why the port was founded in 1911 by public initiative, to be able to retain the public access which was monopolized by the railroads. Little known fact. However, it's really important to remember Seattle isn't just a city with a port. We're a port city. And it's critical that a reminder to the mayor and others that we have a couple of names that would remind us of that, like our sports teams, the Mariners, the Seahawks, the Sounders, the Seawolves, the Kraken. It's part of who we are, and we're here to make sure it stays. And our impact on the city goes seriously into the economics of the region. We just released an economic report. Not only do I serve as the Port of Seattle Commissioner, I'm also a managing member with the Northwest Seaport Alliance, which does the collaborative management of our cargo terminals. But together, that's over $14 billion into our region's economy and 52,000 jobs right here in Seattle. And that doesn't even include the airport, which exceeds that by a lot. All right, so enough with the history lesson and the promotion of the Port of Seattle. Let's get to why we're here in the first place. My colleagues and the commissioners are committed to making sure we can have commerce and community coexist, and this is just the kind of balance that we're looking for. I was pretty serious here with conversations the past 2 years with the city, with the bicyclists, with the longshore, to try to come up with something that we could all be happy for. And we're here to celebrate the fruits of that labor. But let's be clear, these kind of complex situations don't occur without everybody rolling up their sleeves and willing to collaborate. And I think this is a great example of what happens when our intergovernmental and public can get together and find a path forward. So let's do that. So let's just remind ourselves. The mayor, SDOT, terminal operators, labor, and I think we had Matt Ventosi here from ILWU Local 19 right there. You know, these are the guys that carry the cargo on and off the vessels, including the people. And Norwegian cruise line vessel can handle over 3,000 people that come and go in concentrated periods of time. The ability to do that safely and swiftly. Hopefully this bike path is going to make it that much better, but let's give it up for our working waterfront workers. Almost there, I promise. Okay, and like I said, this is a working waterfront, and their success is our success, and we have to really, one of the things that's critical is that in order to be a port in an industrial activity in a city that really is embedded together. This is a lot of ports are often the sticks. We're a port city, so we have to retain that social license to be able to do those economic benefits to the area. And so we work that much harder to be good neighbors. And I think we've made some serious investments. And in fact, we talk about this whole area, this north part of the waterfront. We were way ahead of the south end by a lot. This whole area here, this used to be our headquarters. The waterfront, Elliott Bay, the World Trade Center, the condos and the Marriott were on lands that we were involved with. Going south, Pier 69 is the port's facility, and Centennial Park is connected to Myrtle Edwards, and you can continue to ride right through 91 and that crazy little bridge to nowhere in a cage that, if you guys do that, that's coming down this year, finally. It's only taken me 3 years, but I'm going to be there with the Sawzall. And then you can continue on to Fisherman's Terminal, even to the Ballard Locks, right along that way. So the string of pearls continues north. We are very fortunate to have that. So, and obviously the Elliott Bay connector will only enhance it that much further. So looking forward to the grand opening September 6th, when we can try to bring all these pieces together. And then of course we'll have something to shine for the global audience of FIFA and the World Cup. The one thing I ask is that this is a new situation. It's a great design, but the bicyclists have to know that this is how it's going to be for the future. And it changes when the cruise ships are here. You have to bounce back across and it's just during cruise hours, not during cruise days. I'm really hoping that, I appreciate Cascade Bicycle Club willing to get the word out to your members, but I really think we're going to need to have some active eduforcement people on the road to create that muscle memory so that we do it right in the future, and I call on the city to help us with that effort. So anyway, it is now my pleasure to introduce Lee Lambert, Executive Director of the Cascade Bicycle Club, and it should come as no surprise he came here by bike. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. So again, Lee Lambert, Executive Director of Cascade Bicycle Club, and we've heard a lot of wonderful things about this path, and it's a great day to celebrate. But if you remember, if you go back in the Wayback Machine, it wasn't supposed to look like this. The first draft of this bike infrastructure had a permanent cross 365 days a year. And we as activists and our partners at Greenways, we sent letters. I know from Cascade, we sent about 3,000 letters to the city saying, we can find a better way. And to ESTA and the mayor and the port's credit, they listened. And I really want to thank the staff that sat in conference rooms with us and problem solved. These are wonderful public servants for the port and the city of Seattle, and they often don't get to talk up here, but they spent a lot of time problem solving and teaching me a lot about engineering. So can we thank the port staff and the SDOT staff who aren't here? Through our advocacy efforts, we have this novel dual-use facility around Pier 66, which transforms during cruise hours, which is about 100 days a year. And the rest of the year, we have a lovely west side bike lane that will be used by commuters and tourists and alike. This really is a case study of what can happen if we sit in a room and roll up our sleeves and problem solve together and understand each other's needs. This bike lane might not have looked like this without the hard work of activists, the staff, and I really want to thank our friends at Seattle Greenways. They really pushed towards the end to make sure that this bike lane was wide enough in two directions. They came down, I'll tell their story. They came down here with SDOT staff with cargo bikes and said, here's what we need to do to make sure that this bike lane works for everybody. And I just want to thank them for their hard work on that. So we are proud to have played a role in getting this bike lane built. We're looking forward to completing the rest of the Seattle Bike Network. We're really focused on South Seattle. This is wonderful as this is. There's a lot of room to grow, and we'll see a few more openings later in this year in hot bike summer, I guess. Thank you.
And that's a wrap, everyone. Feel free to hang out. Thank you so much again for coming out to celebrate the Alaskan Way Safety Project opening with us.